guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing my favourite books of 2018. So I have a top 10 and then 2 honourable mentions, and I thought we'd just get straight on into it. Now I don't own all of these books because I did read some on audio, so that's why I won't have any physical copies for a couple of them. But let's just get right on into it. So my first honourable mention is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, which is a poetry collection, and I fell in love with it. I read both of the poetry collections Rupi has released in the very start of 2018, and I absolutely love them. I love the illustrations and things like that. It was such a quick fly through read, perfect to start off the year, and absolutely adored it. Other honourable mention is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I did read this on audio and fell so deeply in love I had to go pick up a physical copy, and it was just brilliant. I don't know how else to describe this story of Monty, and it's just amazing. Monty and Percy are bloody brilliant characters. It's so funny. I highly recommend it to absolutely anyone. So number 10 on my list is a bit of a controversial one. I know not everyone loves Sarah J Maas, and there are a couple of Sarah J Maas on here. I'm sorry. I really enjoyed them. I flew through all of her books this year, but my number 10 is A Court of Mist and Fury. I just found so much enjoyment out of this one. It is the best in the series in my opinion. I thought it set up ACOWAR really well and continued ACOTAR really well. But I just found like everything that I wanted was in this book. I loved it. I know it's problematic, but I found so much enjoyment out of it. I don't look at things too critically. I look at them on an enjoyment level, and if I enjoy the time reading it, then I'm going to enjoy the book. So that's what I found with this one. Coming in at number 9 is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This epilogue killed me before I read Heavenly Fire. Oh my goodness. So I've never read any Cassandra Clare until 2018. I participated in Emma Books Shadowhunter year-long read-along, and that's how I read all of them, and this one just broke me at the end. It was so good. Cassandra Clare knows how to write a roundup for a trilogy, hence why I loved Queen of Air and Darkness so much, and I love City of Heavenly Fire, and Clockwork Princess was definitely another one that I absolutely adore. Number 8 for me is Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco, which is the second book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper quartet, because there's a 4th one coming out. I loved the setting of Romania. I thought it was absolutely amazing. It was my favourite setting we've done throughout the 3 that are currently released, because I love vampires. So I enjoyed Romania, and I enjoyed the idea of a real life Dracula, and I just found it so engaging and captivating the entire time. The next one I don't actually own because I read it on audio, and that is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I read the entire Lunar Chronicles and I couldn't decide which one to put on here until I realised, well, Cinder was the one that I got the most oh my gods out of. Especially that ending. I was listening to it before bed, and it was just like the big reveal at the very end. I went, oh my god, I can't stop it now. I have to finish this audiobook before I go to sleep. It was brilliant. I absolutely love the narration. I love the storyline. I love the sci-fi element. All around amazing book. The next one is another one that I don't currently own, which I keep needing to purchase, and I keep seeing it and going, I don't want that cover, I don't want the movie tie-in cover, I want the original cover, and that is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I also did watch the Love, Simon adaptation this year, and I fell in love with that, but the book was what I read first, and it was amazing. Read this on audio as well, and it's just beautiful. The storytelling is gorgeous. I love the gay romance and the worry about what his friends are thinking, and he's just very caring about his life and the people around him, and I just want to hug Simon. I just want to have a real life Simon to hug. Starting off my top 5 for 2018 is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas. This was the conclusion to the Throne of Glass series, which has now 8 books in it, including the Assassin's Blade and Tower of Dawn. I read the entire series before this one was released. I made sure I finished Tower of Dawn the day before this one was released, and I went and picked it up instantly and started it and finished it within the first week of its release. I mean, it's 1,000 pages. You've got to give me at least a week for it. I absolutely love it. I know it's problematic as well. I know Sarah J Maas does have some problems in her writing style, but once again, I read her for enjoyment. I found enjoyment out of this, and it just kept me on my toes. It did get to about halfway and I went, why is this like 900 pages? Why do I have another 500 to read? But then more happened and I realised why we had such a big book. Highly enjoyed it. I think it was brilliantly done, but that's just my personal opinion. If you obviously have a different opinion for Sarah J Maas, and especially things like Kingdom of Ash and Akamath, yeah, Akamath, you are more than entitled to those opinions too. Being Australian, you thought I would have read this book by now, but I have read another one by this author, and this one for my number 4 was also read on audio, but once again I loved it so much I had to go pick it up, and that's The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I can't believe I was never recommended reading in Australia. Like, it was never on a syllabus. I had The Messenger on a syllabus in year 11 and I had to read that, but I never had to read The Book Thief, and I listened to it on audio this year, and it's like a 24-hour long audio book. It was excruciating to keep seeing only a little bit of progress, but it was so captivating. Being narrated by Death and actually listening to it was just, it was so interesting and I loved it to death. And I need to watch this movie adaptation. I don't know how they would have done it, because I've never seen it. So I need to go watch the film. But oh my god, this book I need to reread in its physical form and annotate it, because I just need to pull this book apart because it was brilliant. Rounding my top 3 now, this one I cannot get out of my head. Every time I think about it, my head just explodes. I don't know how to think or breathe, or just, I don't get it. But that is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, and I did annotate this one to try and make sense of this book, like with foreshadowing and stuff, but oh my god, I don't know how to process this sucker, and that's why it sits at number 3, because every time I think about it and it keeps coming back in my head, I don't know how to process it still. So that is why it's at number 3 for me. It was amazing. I can't believe I've never read this series before, and I'm currently in the middle of book 2. We've come to the final 2, my top 2 for 2018, and the second last, well, number 2 on my list of top 10 is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. I don't know how to think about this book. I read it in like 2 days flat. It was brilliant. Oh my god. Everyone got a happy ending by the end of it, or somewhat of a happy ending. Looking at you, Susie. But I love this one so much. Having 6 books with Clary there, I can't even talk. It's 6 books with Clary and Jace, and just finally getting to the end of it, and having, like, knowing that's still not the end, because we still get them in the Dark Artifices and their stories continuing, and we're never going to say a proper goodbye in a sense to these characters, but this was a really good goodbye, an ending to Sebastian and all of, you know, the Undarkened and the Dark War, and it was just brilliant. Cassandra Clare, once again, knows how to write a conclusion. She knows how to write a freaking conclusion. And then my number 1 book of 2018 is actually contemporary. This list is full of a lot of fantasy, but this one's a contemporary, and it was recommended by Emma Books, and I don't know if that tips you off at all, but it's actually Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. I always forget the author, but oh my god, did she go to school with me? I went through Catholic schooling for 6 years, and this is exactly what I thought. I was Michael. I was the rebellious. I was the atheist, personally. Not bagging a religion at all, but I did not like the way they taught us and how it was so drilled into our heads that we had to think in a certain way, and it was, no, we have our own lives. And this book was just absolutely amazing. I read it on ebook because I've never seen it in Australia ever. I could never find it anywhere, so I ordered it off Book Depository, so I got the hardback, so I even paid extra because I love it so much. And if I could just like reread this book every single day, my life would be the best ever. I love it so much, and if you haven't read this one, it is my favourite of 2018, and I highly suggest you read it because it is so worth it. It is so worth it. But that's my top 10 list of books, or top 12 list of books that I read in 2018. Let me know what your favourites were, and I will talk to you in the next video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!